Welcome back to this episode of Kiss My Ace. It's good to see you guys. You know, it's a strange... You hear that? You hear that? That's what it's like working from home. How long is that gonna go on?
Gracias.
Thank you. See, we've reached the point of the year. I mean, I would say it's strange times, but this whole year is strange times. It's the part of the year where it's almost an off season. You know, there's the smaller tournaments going on, but Grand Slam season is over. Everyone's starting to prep, get their bodies ready for the 2021 calendar year with the Australian Open opening up the year. And this makes my job a little more fun because I get to focus on some maybe smaller storylines, maybe some young stars, maybe some off-the-court issues. I get to be a little more creative with this show in Kiss My Ace. So this week I want to give a big shout out to our boy Sam Querrey because, I mean, this story just writes itself. For those of you who don't know or have not been keeping up on your tennis updates, Sam Querrey was in Russia, hanging out, playing some tennis, playing a tournament. Came down with the the coronavirus, the COVID-19 positive test. He had it. Now, I mean, sucks. You'd have to sit out of the tournament, wasn't allowed to play, had to be in isolation. What did this man decide to do? Flee the country. I'm laughing because it's just the circumstances are funny. Just imagining this man as almost an international fugitive, running from the law, avoiding Russian police sneaking out of the country on his private jet. It's just funny when you look at it like that. Obviously, we hope no one else contracts it and there's minimal damage for these actions, but they need to make a movie out of this. I mean, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, I was prepping last week, you know, I was like, man, I don't know, what am I gonna talk about on the show this week? There's not a lot going on. And then boom, Sam Querrey, Russian fugitive. Incredible. If I were to rank his escape from Russia based off movies, I mean, number one, obviously you have Shawshank Redemption. It's a great prison escape. Number two, probably Escape from Alcatraz. Number three, Sam Querrey's quest from Russia. So I thank him for giving me something to talk about. It's just an incredible story. That 2020, man. What are you going to do? This is also a good time to look back and reflect on the past year. And something that we dealt with this year was an absence of tennis. An absence of a lot of things, but specifically tennis. There was a gap. There was a period of time where tennis didn't exist. So I want to look at some of today's stars in the tennis game. People we know who are excellent performers and athletes and tennis players. It looks like they were born to play tennis. Now, let's think if they were in a world where tennis did not exist, a sad world that we hope never comes. But let's imagine, let's put on our imaginary hats here. Let's imagine a world where there was no tennis. What would these players be up to? First player, probably the inspiration for this segment, Chapo. I mean, do I really have to say it?
I'm in Cali with my fans getting hella lit. Hey.
If Chapo weren't a tennis player, what would he be? Obviously, a SoundCloud rapper. It's very clear to me that if he never picked up a tennis racket, he'd have a mic in his hand, sitting in his studio apartment, spitting some bars. This was the most obvious of all these ones. Next up, Novak, the Joker, all-time tennis great, one of the best to ever do it. What would he do if there was no tennis? Well, I thought long and hard about this one. This was tough. You know, because you think Novak, you think tennis. That's it. Nothing else. You can't separate the two. But I had to. It's my job. So I thought long and hard. I visualized. I manifested it. Novak Djokovic would be an incredible yoga teacher. The man's flexible. The man understands his body and how it moves and the energy. He does that thing. You know, he gets the energy and the body and he understands it. And I can just imagine him sitting up in front of a bunch of suburban moms doing all this stuff and these poses and all the yoga stuff. I can just see it. Next up, we move to the woman's side, Naomi Osaka. This was another tough one. I don't really see it. It's hard to visualize these players away from their sport. Then I look at her personality. She was a little quieter, starting to get out of her shell, speak a little more, and really, I could see her resonating well and communicating well with children. Elementary school teacher. I can see it. I can see her cooking up some arts and crafts, getting to know the kids, guiding them on the way to success, molding the minds of our youth. I see it. All the way up here. Naomi Osaka, elementary school teacher. And last but certainly not least, Serena Williams. This, for some reason, wasn't tough to me. For some reason, when I thought of Serena Williams outside of tennis, one occupation came to mind. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. My reasoning for this, it just felt right. It really just felt right. I could be way off, but in my head, when I see Serena Williams outside of the game of tennis, I think veterinarian, handling animals, pushing them back to health, saving the lives of our cats, our dogs, our birds, our hogs. There's no other animal rhymes with dogs. Yeah, again, with this one, I can see her scrubs. Do veterinarians wear scrubs? They do in my world. Now I want to hear from you guys. Please leave in the comments. Name a tennis pro and name what their occupation would be if tennis didn't exist. I'd love to hear it. It's a personal opinion, but let me hear from you guys in the comments. Leave a like if you like the video. And make sure, as always, follow Cracked Racquets. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. And remember, if you didn't like anything I said, well, guess what? You can kiss my ace.